Hello everybody. Welcome to this special webinar which is about the Fresh Talents of Vedic Astrology Conference, which is taking place 6th to 14th February 2017. And we are going to begin with a short chanting. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahman Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Brahma Murari Sripurantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Suto Budhascha Guruscha Shukraha Shanirahu Ketava Sarve Graha Shanti Bhavo. Nilanjana Samabhasam Ravi Putram Yamagrajam Chayamaratanda Sambhutam Tam Namami Shanishcharam. So welcome to the webinar. First time I'm doing a webinar about a conference, but I had this idea that I will explain to people about why this program is, and also to give you an idea about what are the topics under discussion and why you should attend it. So basically this conference is part of a bigger program, which is we'll have the conference first, and then we are doing the 6 abodes of Lord Murugan, the Mars temple trip. And I will actually attach the recording of that as well at the end of this. When you'll get a email from me, it will have both the recordings, so you can listen to it. But the conference is 6th to 14th of February 2017, and it is sponsored by my Academy of Vedic Sciences. So the aim of the conference is to promote new generation of Jyotish Masters and to encourage contemporary thought, networking, lecturing, presenting skills, research, professionalism, and ethical use of Jyotish. You know, I'm been involved for many years, since 1996 when we started Baba, in organizing conferences, and I've been organizing and helping organize various conferences in UK, USA, and one of the things I felt that when students are studying with me, I want them to go and lecture at these conferences, because I get invited now. I'm senior astrologer, and I have a lot of, but I want my students who are studying with me to become gurus themselves and to get invited to various conferences. And so I want to encourage them to lecture and speak, so that then tomorrow they are getting invited to other conferences as well. But also to introduce speakers from India who may be new to Western students, but are well-known scholars within India. Actually, why I do the conference in India is, one other reason is that after doing my first conference, I thought, oh, I should do a conference in USA. But then I realized that it's not always easy to get the visa for Indian, for me also to organize, because I'm a single person organizing everything. You know, plus there are so many great gurus, so many great masters in India, that I would give you know, a forum for them to come and meet my students and to interact with the delegates. So every time I'm lookout, and if you know, you know somebody, or you know somebody who's very good. Of course, English is important because most of the delegates are international, and delegates are also my students, people I know. It's not that. So that is sort of was the aim of the conference. So this is like a big aim for me, and in fact, last year at our conference and the year before, sometimes they're not young teachers, they're not like they're 20 something. Of course, you're welcome if you're a great scholar at a young age, but there are people who have not wanted to travel outside India or anything. So the idea is to introduce that fresh talent. That's the thing. It's fresh to us as a Western. I'm Indian, but I live abroad. So it's something, so we have had at each stage of the conference journey that we've had some new people. In 2014, Jayan Sharma, great scholar of Prashna, he gave us a workshop, brilliant workshop. Then last year we had a superb teacher who's also coming this year, Vijay Goel. And so this is and Vijay Anand. So I'll talk about them later. But this is really the thing why, and I'm seeking your support to come and support, because these are fledgling stages. It's not like we have a huge conference and everything, but the aim is very nice. And many speakers are first-time speakers who have graduated from my academy after completing a 3-year intensive course of 108 lessons. Actually, as far as the student speakers are concerned, they have to have studied 3 years with me to get an invite. So if you have studied, and so my 3-year course is 36 lessons per course. I planned it to have 108 lessons for 3 years. And then also senior graduates from academy who are now gurus in their own right. Because I have been teaching internationally from, you will see that the students and lecturers coming from all over the world. You know, we get people from Tokyo, from Europe, from Australia, from South Africa, USA, Canada. I have students in South America. They haven't as yet come to lecture, but but they have to be graduates from the academy, and then they get the invite. Automatically I invite them. Of course, everybody is studying, not studying Jyotish to become Jyotishi themselves, but if you are studying, then this is like a part of your exam. So then the history of this conference, I got the idea of it, and I decided to do the first conference in Pondicherry in 2013, and the second one was in New Delhi, and third one was in Poovar, Kerala. So now we are on the 4th conference of the in the history of the conference. So I'm going to just share some photographs with you. So the first international conference, Swami Sita, she was our keynote speaker, and she is a Swami, a great scholar of Jyotish as well, but she is Swami with the Shivananda organization, senior Acharya. So it was very fortunate that she was agreed to come and bless the conference, and she spoke about the 4 aims of life and Jyotish and the 4 yogas. Anyway, she's always, in fact, we have a conference in California that is sponsored by the Shivananda Ashram as well every year. So she was our keynote speaker that year. And then the conference was on Prashna. On the left, you can see Kailashnath. He's a great Prashna scholar. He has been teaching my students off and on over the years. We have done intensives in Kerala. And here we see that, some of the students, and he was teaching Kerala Prashna. So, and then that was my lecture on Sarvota Bhadra Chakra. And part of our conference is to visit the local, if there's any local thing. In Pondicherry, there's a famous temple called for Lord Ganesha. So we went there. Always, that is sort of the first thing we go. There's an elephant there called Lakshmi, and we visited her as well. And we did a puja there, so you can see us all sitting there waiting for the puja to happen. And and then in Pondicherry itself, there's a special temple where the Navagrahas are there. This is a Shiva temple. There are two temples. This year, all the Navagrahas are there with their wives. So these were all extra trips over and above the conference. And then somebody has built a brand new Navagraha temple there with the 9 planets and the 27 nakshatras and all the things. So this is me with Ashlesha. So the Ashlesha deity is Sarpa. And then, lectures, John Ryder lecturing he's an Australian student of mine, many years, so lecturing. Then the other main speaker from India was Pandit Samavetula. In fact, we had a little, as with anything, we had some issue regarding a speaker. So Panditji you see in West as well a lot. But I asked him, this is his wife, and he agreed to come last minute to fill in. And so these are the speakers, Paul, and our hotel there. So this was the first conference, and we had kind of a small group, but very good. And the main thing that emerged with the conference was that the fresh talents were actually really very talented, and people spent so much time preparing their lectures and things, which maybe sometimes when we become teaching all the time, we are not more casual about it. I don't know, but people took a lot of effort and time, and it was amazing, in fact. So then after that, our next conference was in Delhi. And Delhi is fantastic because all the astrologers live there, so you have a lot of astrologers. But the best thing is that the publishing houses of astrology are there. And this is before the conference, and even during the conference, we visited the Sagar publication. And Sagar is an old friend of mine, Narinder Sagarji. And we met an astrologer there whose book he was chatting to us. And you can see he's a publisher, and there we are, all the books you're buying. So this is Narinder Sagar and me, Bill, and Kavita, and Lily, who's been coming from South Africa every year. So you see the books, and then kindly Sagar ji offered that he will post all the books, because you can't carry the books, as you see, just a few books. Most of the Vedic astrology books are done by them, so they were really good, and that's his son who's taken over from him. So there we have that was real bliss to see so many different types of books. So I'm looking forward to going to India again, so that we get the opportunity to buy some more books, even though nowadays digital format is there, but a lot of books are printed in, and Sagar publications being one of the leading publications. So And this is glorious Delhi. Delhi is somewhere that I was brought up, and I lived there for the first 18 years of my life. And this is the parliament, not the parliament, but the government offices, quite glamorous looking offices are there. And so we were in the heart of Delhi, and so one of the things that happened in the 2000 conference is that our a guy who was organizing it, he got this uh, poster made. Before that, if you notice in the earlier one, there's no poster. So we got this poster made. And so since then, I have the poster for every year. And Dr. Charak was a keynote address. In fact, you know, many years ago, I had done a conference in India, which is not part of this, but this was in 1999. And in that, Dr. Charak and Bipin Behari was our main chief guest. And we had 4 speakers. But no, it wasn't like the fresh talents. It was just, that was the start of my India program. And this is Vinny who organizes Delhi for me. And so this was greeting Dr. Charak. Now, Dr. Charak I've known for many years, and he has come to Baba in USA as well. But he is so profound in his knowledge. And in fact, we had the second conference with Exalted Saturn and Exalted Jupiter. It was really, you know, using Mahurata and having good planets is very important. And so this was kind of, the knowledge was real profound. And so there's Dr. Charak again. So he spoke on various topics, on nakshatras, on medical astrology, on various things. He gave a 1-day long workshop as well as the keynote address. And then Dr. Charak has his own many books, so there he had brought them along, and you know, people getting them from him as well. And here we had, again, as you see, it's wonderful to these conferences because we have a small group of people. You get to know everybody, you listen to everybody. There's only one class, so everybody has to come to all the classes. So not has to, they do come. And the knowledge is so good that people want to come. And there's Bill talking. And Bill has since then grown in stature. He has done workshops, webinars, spoken at various conferences. So it is really some, you know, pleasure to see the growth. And Vinay Aditya, he spoke on Ashtaka Varga and workshop. And Vinayji was very wonderful because not only he gave his lecture time, but he attended all the classes like a student, you know, and he really gave very good kudos to all the student lecturers, you know, because that was such a great inspiration and support to have him with us. And here we have Anna from Iceland, and then the various other people, Marlene and Lalita, Bill, Keiko, sorry, Kavita. So, and of course the wonderful Indian food. You know, we had always with conferences, the lunches are included, but we tend to try to do something in the evening as well. And Delhi, you know, there's lots of things to do. And there's freedom to do what you feel like. Plus, there's a lot of organized things, because I realize that many people are first time going out. So, and this is Jayan Sharma ji. He's absolute master scholar in Prashna, and he spoke about more North Indian Prashna. See, first year we had South Indian Prashna. Prashna is a technique where you ask questions, and so the North Indian Prashna was, you know, lots of techniques, and he also great support. But I think the thing is that he has not been abroad at all. So even though he's a very senior scholar, it is wonderful. It was really a great honor to have him teach us all. And here we are, few of us in the photographs. And then Delhi has this spectacular Shani temple called Shani Dham. So this is Saturn, and he's like almost maybe 30, 40 feet high. And there's this whole big center, and this center is and there's Anna buying the oil. One of the things is that you gift oil to Saturn, because Saturn in the mythology, his bones are broken. And so as an offering, you always offer him oil. And you pour oil over him. So at Shanidham, you can buy the oil and offer it to Saturn. And you can buy it in a bit of a big quantity, as you can see here, the big oil cans and containers, and it's very well organized. You know, when you visit Saturn temples, you see the organization there, because Shani is very good at organization. The two temples that are excellent at organization are Saturn and Rahu. Rahu is also very good. They know how to organize. It's quite interesting how the temples also generate the energy. And this temple is the vision of Dati. I've been fortunate to have met him many times, and he gave us a personal audience. And he's an astrologer too. And he loves talking astrology and talking about planets. And whenever we've been, twice I've been there, this was our second visit, he spends time, he talks, he gives us his knowledge. So, you know, spoke about some techniques and things, and spent about half an hour with us. So it was very nice to have him. And then one of my students, Michael, he gave us dinner at his house, and this is his beautiful daughter and partner. So, you know, we have one of the great things about the conference is that you do very serious study, you make great friends, you know, have a lot of social activity as well. And so now we come to the third conference. I suppose only now I can do just the conferences. Otherwise, we will not be able to do it in detail because there are not that many. So this is Professor Jaya Sekhar. He's a very senior guru with so much knowledge that it's unbelievable, and such a great angle and spiritual angle to talk his subject. So he was our keynote speaker in the third international conference, and this was held in Puvar in Kerala. And as usual, especially South India, they always have these lamps and we can light them, and it's a very good start to the opening ceremony of all our glamorous delegates at the start. And there's Bill again talking about karma through mythology of the Rashi. And this was the view from our lecture room. So you can see how beautiful it is. And that's going to be the view this year as well. But although it's interesting that in Puvar we were seeing the setting sun. In Mahabalipuram, the sun rises. So it's the other side of India. So we'll be seeing the rising sun right on the sea. But this conference room is spectacular, and we had this view. We had a nice hall outside, so we would have teas and coffees and lunch with this fabulous view. You know, view also inspires. If you have good surroundings, it inspires their teaching. And that was the pool where we had our welcome dinner. And Swami Sita actually has an ashram close by to Puvar. So she graced us one afternoon and gave a lecture. And we all were invited to the Shivanandanaya Dam for the evening. We had dinner with them. They gave the whole group. It was quite a big group. We all went and we had dinner and lecture. In fact, I lectured there that evening. So these are Puvar pictures that you can see, and then the lunches are all provided for, and there's so much discussion going on, and it's just kind of believable how interesting it is. And this is Vijay Goel. He's our, I'm very proud. This is a great discovery, a great guru, and wonderful teacher. He's from Jaipur, and he's a part of the faculty now this year as well. And this was a temple that I visited, which was very close to the temple on the sea. You know, a lot of temples in Kerala on the sea. So there we have again speakers from last time. We have Vijay, Bill, Kathy, Lalita, and Judy wasn't speaking. She was one of the delegates. But this is this beautiful, colorful temple. And there's Vladislav. He's going to speak this year with his wife. And then we did a sunset cruise there. It's not really a cruise like but they have a little boat and you go in the backwaters of Kerala. And so there it is. So now coming to this year, or next year really. This year was this conference, but next year, what is the, who are the people and what are the topics? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit astrology about what the topics are, what the thing is. So we have Sunil John, Professor Jaya, Sekhar, Vijay Goel, Vijay Anand, myself, Keiko, Lolita Krishna, Julie Sweetley, Kamal Thapar, Petra Pobuda, and Vladislav Klaus. So we have 7 master classes and 2 days of conference. So it's a 7-day program. Full of information, lot of knowledge, and a lot of the master classes are half day. We have full day master classes as well. So it's really a pleasure for me to have Sunil John as my chief guest. And Sunil John, you may know, he's the guy who runs Saptarishi Astrology and books. I have known him for many years, and he is an inspirational personality because he has researched and met all the different small places he's visited in the search of Jyotish Masters. And then he's now running the books and he's doing webinars and teaching and all sorts of things. So it's a great honor to welcome him. He's going to do 2 workshops and a lecture. Many of you know him, Saptarishi. I should write that down. He's very shy, so he doesn't, so many times he doesn't even give his own name, but he's the guy who's done all this great work and is a younger person who's brought a fresh approach to how to study astrology and everything from India. And so he's going to talk about how to rectify your Shashti Amsha using Nadi astrology. So Nadi astrology is an ancient form of Indian astrology. Nadi means a pulse, and Shashti Amsha is a chart of a D60 chart. So I'm just going to show you. I'm not teaching you what he's teaching, but I'm just explaining to you that what he's going to do. So so basically yeah, Shashti Amsha, you see that this is a chart that's 60 divisions of one sign each. And what happens is, this is Oprah Winfrey's chart, and you see her Lagna is 6 degrees 27 of Sagittarius, and her Navamsa, her Shashti Amsha Lagna is also Sagittarius. Now, in the deity is Apampati. Apampati is a name for Varuna, the lord of the water. So, so now the biggest problem with Shashti Amsha is, a problem or advantage is that it changes very quickly. And maybe I'll put Shashti Amsha here. I'm just going to put North Indian only because then It's so I'm just adding this. So now you can see it's just 9 is Sagittarius and Sagittarius, and Devata is Apampati. So now if you look at this Shashtyamsha chart, if I take it 1 minute back, it still stays. So 3 minutes back, if I take it, goes to Purishaka. And the deity, but you get Scorpio Lagna with Mars in the Lagna. So, and if we go back to the original chart for Oprah Winfrey, you look at, yeah, just go 1 minute further from her birth data. The Devata is Marut and the sign is Capricorn. So now you see that within 5 minutes of a birth time, there are 3 possibilities. But which one is correct? Which one is not correct? So the thing is that Shashtyamsha is often used to rectify time of birth. And people don't know how to do it, you know, or we try, everybody. So what Sunil John is going to explain here is that he's going to explain this technique, which gives you almost like immediately through Shashtyamsha, you can understand that, okay, maybe my time needs slight adjustment, or it needs quite a lot of adjustment. But you see, the slight adjustment makes a lot of differences. Oprah got, because Shashtyamsha chart itself, it's a Varga chart, it's a deep internal picture of you. And they say this is the causal state from which we are born, why we are reborn, is studied in Shashtyamsha. If, of course, all of us are reborn, we are here, that's why we have a Shashtyamsha chart. And so that state of deep state, you understand. So this is something that a great master is going to teach you and explain how to work with that and how to use the Shashtyamsha chart. Then Sunil is going to talk about another very important subject, Nadi Nakshatra and timing. So Nadi Nakshatras are the nakshatras, and nakshatras themselves are, and those who have studied with me have studied Nadi Nakshatra. So the Nadi Nakshatra is specific how to do analysis through nakshatra. So there's a whole aspect of how to look at transits, what to do, where to study, and what are the timings involved with it. So how to study time with and nakshatra analysis. So, and his keynote will be the purpose of astrology. So he's going, that keynote is always the astrologer either giving their own opinion or talking on a specific subject. So this is the aspect from Sunil. Now, it seems always with conferences, some subjects become more kind of important. And Professor Jaya is going to talk about Navamsa. So we see that 2 speakers are doing Vargas, but so different because Navamsa is D9. It is the 9th division, and Shashtyamsha is 5 times deeper than that, the D60 division. So when we see the 9th division, this is the chart that we have to study always. You know, as any level of astrologer has to know the Navamsa chart. Rashi Navamsa is just like breathing in, breathing out. You know, you cannot avoid the Navamsa chart. You have to study everything in comparison to Navamsa. And so Professor Jayashekhar is going to talk about how to use it, you know, certain techniques. Most important in the Navamsa chart is, of course, the Lagna. So here we see that for Oprah Winfrey, she's Sagittarius Lagna, Navamsa Lagna is Gemini. So even though she appears Sagittarius, she will have many qualities of Gemini as well, you know, curiosity. Of course, she was a great media personality, so Gemini's natural media quality is there for her to see. So, you know, how to study all the things in the Navamsa, what are the key factors to look at it in the Navamsa. This is the thing that will be very important in understanding. And if you, what I find is that it doesn't matter how many times you have studied Navamsa and how good you are. Every time you study with a master, it inspires you. And I've been studying since 1979, and still when I attend these conferences, I work with them, I find that there's students also teach me and the masters also teach me. So Professor is going to talk about this. And then his other topic is Calcify Yoga. Now, Calcify Yoga, if you don't know what it is, it's a difficult yoga in a chart. And I'm just going to show you the Calcify Yoga that we are experiencing just now. So this is the chart of the chart now. And I'll just show you 7 days later. So what you can see here is that Rahu, Ketu, all the planets are, and let me go more, 7 days more. So this is 8th of October. And from 8th of October to end of December, all of us are experiencing Calcify Yoga by transit. So you may not have it in your chart, but you're going to experience it. So Calcify, Kal means time and Sarpa means snake. When the snake is wound itself around you and is holding on to you. So Calcify Yoga, of course, you can see in a birth chart. I'll show you a Calcify in a birth chart. But the basic principle of Calcify is that Rahu Ketu are hemming in the planets. Now there are two types of Calcify. I think Professor is also going to talk about the 12 types of Calcify, because wherever Rahu is placed, he generates a different Calcify. So at this stage, we see Rahu in Leo. Rahu is in the 11th house. Often Calcify is also connected to more global issues, you know, uncertainty of global energy. Because why uncertainty? Because the planets are all hidden away, half hidden away. And when people have Calcify, then it is difficult to, you know, they have to try to keep their feet on the ground. There's also cancellation of Calcify Yoga. One of the cancellation is when the Lagna Lord is strong, Sun and Moon are strong. But we are all experiencing Calcify. I'll just show you now. Moon is cutting the Calcify. Then for 15 days, Moon is cutting the Calcify. Then 15 days, we are having it. And right up to December, when Mars cuts the Calcify in December, you'll intermittently be experiencing Calcify. So the importance of this workshop that the professor is going to bring his great vast knowledge to is that he's going to tell us the types of Calcify, how does it affect us personally, what are the things we have to watch out for, and you know, what are the key aspects here. And of course, you know, if it is in your own chart, it creates a very difficult personality. I find that Calcify, especially in politicians' chart, is very difficult. So here we see Donald Trump's chart. Now he has Rahu Ketu. Moon is cutting his Calcify slightly. Just see, Moon is out of it. Rahu Ketu are 27 degrees, but it's kind of complicated chart. In Delhi, the Delhi mayor just now, he has a strong Kalsarpa yoga. His name is Arvind Kejriwal. But here you can see one of the things about Kalsarpa yoga and politics is that politicians with Kalsarpa yoga play divisive politics. They want to cut the country into half. You and me cut each other. So it's not about success or failure. People can be very successful with Kalsarpa. It also has, I'm just trying to show you Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, there's Margaret Thatcher, Kalsarpa again. So very lot of politicians can have it, can be greatly successful, yet there's some inner energy that causes angst, disappointment, as if you're some old karma that you're dealing with. So this is a great subject, and to have the workshop on it. In fact, I requested Professor because many years ago I'd heard him speak on this subject at Baba, and I requested him to do this because this was a very important subject, and there's a lot of false stuff about it. So you know, it's good to have positive as well as no, correct. I think it's positive is okay, but one has to have a correct viewpoint of what Kalsarpa is. So then one of the things that he's talking about is non-scoring kutas of compatibility. So there are 4 kutas in compatibility: Mahindra, Shri, Dirgha, Rajju, and Veda. So those of you who have done compatibility, you know there are 36 points that any relationship you can get. But then there are 4 kutas that are not very well explained. And I know that those are very key to the final analysis, and especially some like Rajju and Shri Dirgha. Rajju, especially in some communities in India, if that compatibility is not there, then people will not get married at all. So in looking at the chart, and then also looking at Western relationships, where if we are in the West, how do we use this and India West, you know, looking at that aspect. So this is a rare topic of, it's a lecture topic, but rare topic because it's focusing on a specific area. One of the things that I do as far as the conference is concerned is that I'm very keen for everybody to present fresh material and not just repeat the stuff. So this is, and also pay attention to what topics are being discussed. So when you, if you come there, you'll see that there are many very interesting topics, very stimulating, and then of course all the public audience is also astrologers, so you get a chance to talk to them and discuss. And then Vijay Goel is going to do talk on Dhana yogas, the yogas of wealth. He's also, you know, brilliant speaker. And the wealth yogas, like there are some Ashtalakshmi yoga he spoke about, some unusual yogas that have not been given prominence. You see, when you study yogas in astrology, you see there are thousands of yogas. And but which ones to give importance to? So part of the study of any astrologer is to see what are the yogas. And then we have been told that we should not just look at the yogas in the chart, but we should correspondingly look in the palmistry as well. So he's going to do that half the day. He's going to talk about the wealth yogas. And then the next half is going to give us some pointers of what to look in the palm. So for example, if somebody has a Dhana yoga in their chart, there should be corresponding energy in the palm as well. You see, palmistry and astrology are sister sciences. In fact, they are together science, like body and breath, because always the astrologer was aware that they could get the wrong time of birth. People would manipulate them. People would try to cheat them to say, what is it? So through palmistry, you can see that what is the lines there, what are the things, what are the indications. Therefore, if there is a wealth yoga, then wealth yoga should also be indicated in the palm as well. And also you can think about it that it could also be that how it manifests itself, that shows in the palm, because you may have a great money yoga, but it's not there. So, and Vijay is a real star. When you meet him, he's so full of knowledge and very good at English and great speaker and everything. So it's a great pleasure to have him again. In fact, I invited him again because of his great brilliance. And then we have Vijay Anand, who's going to talk about Kuja Dosha and Ashtaka Varga. So Vijay Anand has got a great lineage of astrology. His father, Subramanya, CVS Subramanya, is a professor of Jyotish for 25 years with the Andhra University. So he's a scholar, and Vijay is in his mold, a lot of information. Professor Subramanya, he doesn't speak English, so if he comes, then it's difficult. We have to translate him. Whereas Vijay is younger, he speaks excellent English, and he's so what we see with Kuja Dosha. What is Kuja Dosha? Kuja Dosha is when Mars is creating a problem in relationships. So let's see Kuja Dosha, relationship problem, people. So you know that Angelina Jolie has filed for divorce with Brad Pitt. And both Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have Kuja Dosha. But Angelina Jolie, you know, usually they say that after the age of 28, the Kuja Dosha is not not that strong, but I feel that when there's Kuja Dosha in the chart, there is always problem regarding relationships. And when the Dasha of Mars is on or Bhukti of Mars is on, then the Kuja Dosha is active. And in Angelina Jolie's case, so Kuja Dosha is usually happens if, so let me put this into South Indian now. So you can see the South Indian chart. So, oh, sorry. So Kuja Dosha happens when Mars is first, second, 7th, 8th, and 12th house. And it can also be from the moon. So she has a moon-Mars combination. So moon-Mars combination is an indication of Kuja Dosha. And Kuja Dosha is, so you can see that, and she has that even in the Navamsa. Moon, Mars continue in the Navamsa. And the biggest problem for her is that since 11th of July, she has started in Sun Mars Dasha. And this lasts only till 16th November. But you see, it doesn't take long to do damage to relationship or anything. So you can see here that this Dasha is also on, and she has got the Kuja Dosha. And therefore, this would be usually what we would advise as astrologers, is to stay calm. Things can be disruptive, things can create problems. So to be calm at this stage and not to react to situations. But you see that for, and of course you all know that last year the planets were so difficult. So You can see this situation in Kuja dosha. So in any relationship, especially younger people under the age of 28, Mars can be quite a destructive force. Now what Ananth is going to add to this information is that he's going to use Ashtaka Varga. So I have not, I don't know this particular technique, so I'm looking forward to learning something from him. So these are Ashtaka Varga, and these are all the points that each of the planet gets, and you know, to see where this Ashtaka Varga will help or hinder Kuja dosha. Because in India, Kuja dosha is taken very seriously, especially where marriages are arranged, and Kuja dosha is taken very seriously. But main thing with Kuja dosha is, and Mars, because Mars is a warrior, even though the partner has Kuja dosha, they believe that 2 cancels it. So if we look at Brad Pitt, her husband, he has Kuja dosha as well. You see, he's got Moon with Mars as well, and second house Moon, so that is also one of the positions of Kuja dosha. But I think that the thing with Kuja dosha is that it's disruptive, and our work as astrologers is to explain to people not to allow to disrupt. Of course, these people are not taking our advice, so we can't say. And she got married with Brad Pitt in 2014. So in effect, this is the first time a big challenge has come to them in the form of a Kuja dosha. So that is also important to see, that sometimes the challenges come, and at you know, so as a form of Kuja dosha. So to be aware of it. So that is what Vijay Anand is going to be talking about. And then Keiko is doing fantastic Rahu. Rahu, agent, provocateur, illusionist, and illuminator. We all love Rahu, you know. So we have 2 kind of Rahu, one Rahu Ketu Kalsarpa, and then Keiko Ito. Keiko is my very senior student. I think she has attended every India trip I've been to, except one. Every workshop I've done, she has also attended the she has lectured at all the India, but she also lectures at various other places. So she's very senior. She has translated from Japan. She's based in Japan. So she's really very knowledgeable, and how much research she does. So I'm not going to say much about Rahu, because there's wonderful Rahu and crazy Rahu, and you know, so, and also troublesome Rahu. So there's all sorts of things that we could think about with Rahu. And Keiko will have done her research and charts and everything. So then comes to me. I am lecturing. So this year I have 2 workshops. Usually I try to keep only 1 workshop, simply because in case I have to pick up slack, some, you know, there are cancellations or things in conferences, those things happen. Then I'm there and I'm not overburdened. But I'm talking about something that I'm very conscious of, very fond of, in the sense of Kimadruma Yoga. Now, Kimadruma Yoga is when moon is isolated. And we have a very famous Kimadruma Yoga in the chart of Hillary Clinton. So you can see she has a perfect Kimadruma Yoga. Moon isolated, no planets either side, no planets in Kendra. And she is in Moon Dasha. So now, what to do about Kimadruma Yoga? You know, it's not uncommon to have Kimadruma Yoga. Even in our transits just now, we are having Kimadruma Yoga. I'll just show you. So many people born just now, you see moon is isolated. Even though there are Kendra planets in Kendra to the moon, I find that when moon has no support either side, it's an unsupported mind. So unless we are very conscious of seeking support, getting ourselves grounded, it can be a very difficult situation. And over the years of my teaching as well as my counseling and, as an astrologer, I have found that Kimadruma Yoga is a very key element in to understand and for people to work with, because the isolated moon means you can easily isolate yourself from family, from support. You feel very alone. But it can also be a great alternative thinker person, because nobody's influencing you, can think in your own way. So you see, nothing is positive or negative in anybody's chart, but it is the usage of the quality, that are you using it, how you're dealing with it. That is the thing with the chart. So this Kimadruma Yoga, I will show you another chart of Kimadruma Yoga. Who was I thinking about? Yeah, I showed you the USA. The country USA has a Kimadruma Yoga. So you see, USA also, if we look at the chart from this, you see no planets. So in a way, Hillary connects with it. Ketu doesn't count as a planet because, it's shadow. So you see, USA has a pure Kimadruma Yoga. And USA was in Moon Dasha. One of the darker stars for USA when 9/11 happened and all the wars, all the wasteful wars that have happened were all during Moon Dasha, 1998 to 2008. In fact, the end of Moon Dasha, Mars came, Barack Obama. But the 10 years of Kimadruma Dasha, that's what it is. It can be very maverick, but it can also be out of isolated, doing exactly what you feel like. And therefore, that can be for the good or cannot be so for the good. So usually, Kimadruma Yoga is has to be managed, and we have to learn how to deal with it. Of course, we have to deal with it by transit, but by transit can be quite common. But it's all about the mind, and as the mind is the key planet in our life, Moon is the key planet. If you have this isolated yoga, how to deal with it, what to do, I will be talking on this subject. Then the other thing, which is my favorite topic, again, I have all favorite topic, Gochar Phal, fruits of the transit. So what are you, this is something, of course, as a working astrologer, I'm doing all the time, but also as a teacher, not just to see the transits, but what to do about them. And, transits can be quite intense. This year, 2016, has been a bad transit year. Anybody I have met, people have gone through so much sorrow, so many difficulties, so many issues. It doesn't really matter what the aspect is. And in our chart today that I was telling you about, Angelina Jolie, if we look at Brad Pitt, one sec. Just put the Lagna in the chart. So Brad Pitt has Scorpio Lagna, Saturn exactly on his Lagna when his wife has filed for divorce. And not only that, if you see that Shani is heading to Sagittarius and is going to go over his Sun, Mars, Mercury, Ketu, Moon, he's in Sarasati, and you see, he has all his planets in Sagittarius and Capricorn, with the exception of Jupiter. So that means that this is a pretty tough time for him. And therefore, he should really be seeking advice of an astrologer, because then they could somebody, I could guide him what to do, what to expect, how to cope with it, because people spend thousands of dollars, thousands of pounds, rupees, whatever, on euro, on other advice, but on astrology they feel, oh, that's not necessary. But you see here that at this moment, if you look at this Gochar, so you can see that Saturn is 17 degrees 5 minutes of Scorpio. Brad Pitt's Lagna is 1833. Lagna is in Jyeshta, and Jyeshta and Jyeshta Sagittarius Pada. Saturn is in Jyeshta Sagittarius Pada. Moment Saturn came into Jyeshta Sagittarius Pada, then it has brought issues for him right on the Lagna. But you can see that it's Saturn has already been here to, twice, twice, yeah. This is the third time on visiting. That means that these issues were difficult, and Scorpio was the issue of 2016. If you have Scorpio Lagna and you have no astrological guidance, you don't know what is happening to you, then, everybody, I have found, like this year, so many people, family, their friends and all that, they've been coming up to me at a social function and saying, Komilla, what is happening? And then I've been saying, yeah, they are difficult. And then, they've been telling all the friends as well, because it has been a tough year. Good news is that the planets are moving on. You see the planets, if you see them now, you can see that Jupiter is in Virgo, Mercury is going to go into Virgo, Venus is in Libra, Mars, Saturn have split up, Jupiter, Rahu have split up. So, this, even though Calcify yoga will be there, but the planets themselves are in a much easier, without other influence mode. So I think this is kind of what I'm going to be talking about in my talk. Then part of this conference, I give one lecture to one of the senior students who I feel is very much developing. And this year, that lecture is called Saraswati lecture. And it is the goddess Saraswati, and it is honoring her. And so the Saraswati lecture next year, is 2017, is Lolita Krishna. So Lolita is a very serious student of Jyotish. She's actually from Tamil Nadu. She lives in California now. And she's also my all obscure temples go-to person for obscure temples. She's always emailing me and telling me, have you heard of this temple? And I'll go and see it, and for future inclusion in programs. So it's so she is going to talk about Sun and Saturn, the natural Atma Karaka and natural Karma Karaka. So I'm not sure, what the aspect is, but I think one of the key things about Atma Karaka is, so Atma Karaka is, you have a natural Atma Karaka and a Chara Atma Karaka. But the Sun is a very key planet because it represents our soul. And therefore the Sun's role is not just what we see, it is something beyond what we see. And Shani's role is about doing our karma properly. You see, Shani's role is sometimes negated, or people don't understand it, that how to do our karma properly. And in fact, what is karma? Because karma is not is the action we do, but it is also trying to reconcile with our old karma. And then in the finale, if you think of it like a bank account, we want to leave our life with zero debt. We don't want to leave our life as we end our life with a whole lot of karmic debt. We are very concerned about money debt. So I think this is something that Lalita is going to be talking about in the lecture. I'm not presuming to talk about this, what they are talking, because you'll be amazed at how much work they put in one lecture. They sometimes will work 6 months, 3 months to get the lecture ready, because it is so important to get it right. So that is the Saraswati lecture. Then Julie is studies Jyotish, but she's a master in palmistry. And recently she lectured at the Sedona conference, and her room was so full that people were standing outside, because she does experiential palmistry. So she's going to talk about palmistry. She's going to talk about the 4 aims of life in the hand, but she's also going to talk about how to study this and how to look at your palm. So what will be interesting is that Julie will be talking, and then we will have a second palmistry class with Vijay, who's going to talk about the Dhana Yogas, Vijay Goel. So you'll get kind of 2 palmistry energies. Very rare to find good palmists, because people are conscious about astrology, and there's so much written about astrology, but palmistry very rare to get. So Julie is there always, and she has been lecturing since 2014. Then was a lecture by Kamal Thapar. He's from UK. Actually, sorry, I think I've got his name. It's with the E. So Kamal is also from India originally, but or actually from Africa, but lives in UK now. And he's a long time original Bhava member. He has been coming to our British Association of Vedic Astrology. He's profound knowledge, and what he's going to discuss is that the spiritual purpose through the quality of marriage. So you see, actually, wife is known as Dharam Patni. Dharma, so to do your dharma. And so the husband is also known as Dharampati. That means that as a couple, you are meant to do your dharma together. So he's going to talk on this subject, which is very profound. And the Navamsa chart, why the Navamsa chart is the chart of dharma and spouse, So it's because of this reason that through your relationships, you are doing your dharma. And dharma is not an easy task. People, it's become so popular as a word that we think it's an easy task, but dharma is not an easy task. So we are going to, he's going to talk about that, but often you get obstacles to doing your dharma properly. So what is the spiritual purpose, what you're going to do? Then Petra Pobuda, she is from Germany. She has been studying with me for many years, but also been meeting her at the German Vedic Astrology Conference in Bad Kreuznach. I think right from inception, I've known Petra for many, many years, and it's a real pleasure that she's going to come and lecture this year. And she's a very serious student of Jyotish and always committed. And so the topic is Atma Karaka and Amatya Karaka. So what is Atma Karaka and Amatya Karaka? So you see, Lalita is going to talk about Sun, which is the natural Atma Karaka. And we have planets that are Amatya Karakas. So let us take another chart. Let us look at Donald Trump. And so software, Sri Jyoti Star, I'm using Sri Jyoti Star. So Chara Karakas, you can actually add them to your chart. So I'm just going to add them here. So all the Chara Karakas are here. So Donald Trump has got natural Atma Karaka and Atma Karaka AK. his Lagna Lord is his Atma Karaka. So maybe let's put somebody else, because I was wanting to see another Atma Karaka. So Brad Pitt, his Atma Karaka is the moon. You can see moon is the highest degree planet. And the highest degree planet, Atma Karaka, is supported by the second highest degree planet. And in Brad Pitt's chart, it's 25 degrees 47 minutes. So we have Atma Karaka and Amatya Karaka. Actually, also you can look at Steve Jobs' chart. So his Atma Karaka is Mercury and Amatya Karaka is Saturn. So you saw Brad Pitt, Atma Karaka was Moon, Amatya Karaka was Shani. So Amatya Karaka and Atma Karaka, the two most mature planets in the chart. So they have seen the world, they have seen history, and Atma Karaka is supported by Amatya Karaka. So Petra is going to show us how to use them, what they represent, and techniques and various other things about Atma and Amatya Karaka. And the final talk, I think that's, is Vladislav Klaus. He's from France. So you see, we have a very global people all over the world, and people in, so he's going to talk about the exalted planets. Vladislav is a researcher. So he's going to tell you why those degrees of planets are exalted, what is the importance, what is the the technical things. Remember, we are not talking basic stuff at the conference, even though I'm trying to make it simple, because I'm not wanting to give away too many secrets what we are discussing. But these are all advanced students. They are going to talk advanced stuff. And this conference is for people who want to be inspired and want to see how people study, what they do. So Vladislav has been a few times India with me, but he's also a very serious student of Jyotish and has been studying with me, as well as he has been coming to Bava from year one, so 1997 when we had the conference. So 18 years, every year I see him in London for our Vedic Astrology conference. So these are the, I haven't given all the subjects, I've given all the speakers, but there'll be some more subjects. So always with the conference we have visits, and because this is taking place in Mahabalipuram, we are going to visit Mahabalipuram. That's all part of the program. It's an optional trip, but it's not, if you're there, you can join. It's not costing anything extra. So these are the 5 rathas. There's the seashore temple. This is called Arjuna's penance. But it's actually the carving is about Bhagirathi, how Ganges came down to earth. It's just got a name. This is, this is the butter ball. Everybody goes and takes a picture here so that they can hold on to the butter ball here. And here we see the seashore temple. There's a temple on the seashore, all very ancient sites. So we are in this kind of womb of then we are also going to visit a temple there. It's just that I've forgotten which day it is, but there's a local temple we'll be visiting. So there's a lot of extra activity. Not that people, what I notice is during the conference, people only want to discuss astrology. So they want to talk to each other, do that. So that is the thing. And here we have another, this is the seashore temple. You can see this is the sea here. It was a bit of, I can't get the sea. The way it is, it's on the same level as the sea. Then we have a superb hotel. So as I told you that Puvar was sunset, this is sunrise. So there's a ritual here to get up at 6 a.m. and watch the sunrise. And you go and sit, and the hotel is right here. So, you know, there's a swimming pool there, there's a spa there, Ayurveda, all sorts of usual stuff, but the best thing is the sea. So you can come and sit by the sea, you can walk there, and they have their own private beach. So it's an excellent place. And that is me last year. You know, I never go to a hotel that I haven't checked out. Whenever I've done that, always it's a little bit less than what I expect. But I've been a few times to this place, and the best part of it is that they have this beautiful little temple there for Lord Ganesha, and every morning they do the puja there, and then they put flowers and change his clothing every day, and Abhishekam to him, so you can be in that fun energy as well as sacred energy side by side. So that is there. If you have any questions for me, then please feel free to either email me or you can ask me question here. So basically in the conference, other than all the conference stuff, all lunches are included in the cost, and welcome and farewell dinners. Then we also have the early bird is up to 1st of October. If you want to bring your partners or husbands or wives with you, then I have a special rate for them, non-conference rate. Because, you know, if they don't want to attend the conference. We do get quite a few partners who join us for the meals, but they don't join us for the lectures because simply they're not interested in Jyotish. If they are, then they join the program, then that's separate. So I hope you will come and support me and support Jyotish with this endeavor. So it's mostly supporting me. Jyotish doesn't need support. But also the early bird is still 1st of October. You know, our hotel is a seriously prime hotel and we are going at the best season. So therefore, I need to know quite soon. So usually 1st October is the cutoff, and the reason I made 1st of October cutoff is this Navaratri. I waited a long time. Usually my cutoff is July, but because the planets were in a bad mood, I thought let's have them in a good position. So the start of Navaratri, so that is the early bird till that day. Then all the information is there. Sorry, conference is till 14th February. All the information is there on my website, komilla.com. I have a Facebook page, Fresh Talents of Vedic Astrology, which is dedicated to this. And that also has all the photographs so far of all the conferences. So, and then I have a Twitter handle at Komilla Sutton, where I'm also posting astrology and stuff. You can get in touch with me, info@komilla.com. So that is it for today, and I appreciate you all coming and being here as part of the thing. So I hope that you will come to the conference if you can make it. Not now, then next year or the year after. But I appreciate it very much that you are here. Thank you. So if you have any questions for me, I don't see any questions. So bye-bye.